Hey, this is Ian Golden with DJ Tech Tools, and I'm very happy to show you the Vestax VCI-100 Special Edition. It's a special edition VCI-100 that I designed for DJ Tech Tools, and I'm going to show you all the features so those of you that own it know what to do with the thing. Let's jump right in and take a look. Today we're going to be going over some of the basics of the unit, and we'll go ahead and show you from the beginning to the more complicated everything that you're going to expect with this unit. First of all, let's go to load a track. We go down through the playlist, up through the playlist. We can load a track in the left, we can load a track in the right. Okay, so we've got our input fader, gain, everything is labeled as you would expect it. Low EQ, mid EQ, high EQ. Underneath that is the filter. All you have to do is hit the filter to engage it, and then you've got a double filter. You've got a low pass and a high pass all in one. Down beneath, of course, you've got the jog wheels, which pretty much everyone knows how to use at this point. Underneath the jog wheels, we've got our transport section. The sync button, which just matches the tempo, but doesn't actually engage sync mode. It just matches the tempo of the decks. I'll be releasing a TKS file though that will actually put them in sync. Drop is to drop a cue. And where this cue is dropped depends on the snap button. With snap off, you can drop the cue anywhere, just before a beat. But with snap on, when you drop the cue, it's going to automatically snap to the nearest beat. I prefer it off so I can really grab the beat where I want. Then we've got pause, where you can sample and play. And obviously it's the same for both decks. For the crossfader, it's normal crossfader would work as you would expect, but on the back we've got crossfader curve control to do a soft fade or a hard fade. Okay, moving up, let's talk about the loop section really quickly. So this actually activates a loop. If you've got a loop in a track like I do at the beginning of this song, we go back to the beginning, you can see that there's already a loop here, but it's not currently active. All we have to do is hit this button and it will activate that loop. So you want to use that if there's a loop coming up or you have a loop preset in the song. If you just want to drop a loop on the fly, you want to use the loop section up here. This will automatically drop whatever loop length you have set here. In this case, I've got it set to 4. If I want to shorten that, I just use the loop shorten button. You get the idea. So you can loop decks A, B, C, or D with one click, and you can shorten A, B, and C with one click. Of course, you've got the pitch faders, which I've got set to fine pitch. So now the pitch fader position is relative to the sync position. So in other words, it's not fixed. If it was fixed, then this would always be 0, this would always be -8, and this would always be +8. But in this sense, it's relative. So I can sync the tempo up 8% and still have 8% of travel. Now, on this section, we've also, of course, got key. This just locks the key of the song. It's pretty obvious. If it's lit, then it's on. Loop as well. If it's lit, then a loop is activated. You see, this is the Ian Golden Special Edition, and that's in gold. So everything that you see in gold, like this deck copy section, is what are some of the special features that I've built into it. In this case, we can easily, by selecting deck copy, copy A to B, or B to C, or A to C, or B to C. And you can see they're all labeled here. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's pretty intuitive. In the middle, we've got your cue section. Pretty self-explanatory as well. Pre-cue A, pre-cue B. You can fade between the master channel and the program channel, which is these buttons. So if you just want to hear what you have cued, you want it all the way to the program channel. Then your headphone volume level is right there. There is one other thing over here in gold. This is the juggle mode. If you turn scratch mode off, now these jog wheels are going to become juggle pads. So it's basically this, the pads are now going to jump, as it just did, to the first cue point in the song. So if we go ahead and duplicate the song on both sides. You get the idea. Okay, now let's go over to the effects section. You've got two banks which affect both deck A and deck B. Let me just put a different song on that doesn't have words so we're not confused. Okay, so in in effects bank A, you've got Reverb Flanger. That's all. You've got the reverb and the flanger for deck A, you've got the reverb and the flanger for deck B. In order to engage that, all you need to do is select the effect and then turn it on. The size is next to it, making the reverb bigger or smaller. And then at the top, you've got freeze. So you get the idea. That works for the flanger as well. Then in effects bank B, you've got echo and the beat masher. Works the same way. Just select the effect now. You can change the... Now I want to note that even though this says speed, this actually isn't controlling the speed of the echo. It's controlling the feedback. Okay, and then on the beat masher it is controlling the speed. And in the same way, all the way to the top reverses, and on the echo, it actually freezes. It's a pretty cool effect. Okay, now, effects bank C is not effects bank C for deck A and B. It's actually deck C. Now that we're in deck C bank, I can select an echo. And there we've got the echo on. I've also got reverb. Works the same way. You turn it on, freeze it, and adjust the size. Now the cool thing here is that you've got deck volume, deck C volume, and you've got deck C boost, which is mids and highs, low cut, which is a toggle, and Q to Q deck C. So essentially, everything you need to be able to actually mix 3 songs on the fly is here. You've got deck A volume, deck B volume, deck C volume, all your 3 Qs, and some basic EQ controls if you're in bank deck C. That's the point of this section, so you can actually have hands-on control of all 3. Now let's say that you want to actually use the jog wheels or the transport controls for deck C. You can hit that button and temporarily use these, or you can engage deck C up here in the performance modes. So let's go ahead and talk about performance modes.